James Stewart is a fifth-generation farmer, working with his brother and father. James is dairying on a property located on the outskirts of Palmerston North. When we caught up with him, he was nearing the end of a term as president of Manawatu Federated Farmers. James feels strongly about taking any opportunity to bridge the rural-urban gap.
I think our real strength is our location. It's a good place to live, it's close to a city, good for staff and things like that. We've got a lot of road frontage. We're on a main road to Palmerston North and there is a lot of eyes on you. One of the things we've got to do here is sort of make sure that we're a strong part of the community, the local school and the lifestyle blocks around us, that we've got a visible presence and that we remain responsible. And I mean, often we are the land that they drive between the city and their place, and so we've got to be here making sure that we've got a good perception of things. It can be a bit of a challenge with urbanisation coming out here, like as far as rubbish tipping and things like that, crime. But really it's just part of living by a big urban centre. There's probably more benefits than negatives, really. We've been struggling to, combat some of the negative press that we get and some of the negative comments, and I think science and technology will be a way and data will help with that. In this region we're seeing some good improvement with rivers around here, and a lot of that's from the good work that dairy farmers have been doing, as well as the hill country farms with planting. Sediment's one of the biggest challenges in this region. We had about 300 discharge to water consents in the 90s, and that was taken out, down to zero within 10 years. And that had an immediate effect on water quality improvement. It's getting to the point now that, particularly with new conversions, we've got to really look at where we can farm now. And that's just the way it is now. I mean, the nitrogen discussion is a really hard one. I can't stop the cows urinating on the farm. I can get the raw effluent out of the waterways. I can apply it to land. Low application rates, keeping it in the root zone to grow the grass, to utilise that well. But the cow urine on pasture, it's the biggest challenge I see going forward. We do have issues with pugging. We've got to manage the soils. It can be a bit tricky to manage in the winter. We're doing a lot of drainage, artificial drainage, which is the plastic in the pipe and metal on top, just to remove that saturation, really. The shed was built just over a year ago, and I decided pretty early on, because of our tourist lodge that we've got now, we do get visitors through. So with this shed, I decided that let's make a purpose-built room in the corner to view and sort of talk about the system, and then walk out and actually stand on a platform to watch the actual milking with limited disruption to the cows. The lodge was built back in the early 2000s. Really, it was just a bit of a passion from my parents to bring overseas guests in to experience the real life of a working farm. It became quite a luxury sort of venue. It got Quail Mark 5 star for visitors. It's actually turned into more of a beauty day spa as well at the moment. So it's really just to keep us thinking of different opportunities within the farming system.
To get into the AgTech Hackathon live pitches.
During the Ag Food Investment Week we've just recently had, we got involved at a farm level with a project called the Hackathon.
This has got a whole suite of sensors that allows us to tell things about basically grass health and height.
Basically we started talking about what could be quite useful on farm, and from that a whole lot of techies were invited out on farm and to dream up some ideas or opportunities that we could use on farm with ag technology. We had mayors, we had business leaders all getting in behind and asking the question and really enjoying it. And having a big corporate like Microsoft in the region showing so much interest. We had several international Microsoft people out here on farm talking about it. It was very cool.
And as I say,
Out of the whole week, there was several projects underway or that were being worked on. One was real-time data for grass production or growth and modelling around that. There was monitoring on water, what water we're using, water troughs, sensors, things like that. And the one that actually won it was a pretty interesting, well, they did a very nice model on the actual pitch, and they could open gates remotely from a smartphone and push the button, open the gates. There was also monitoring on water and even camera sort of technology. So really quite cool stuff.
Did sales and marketing take over operations? How did you work as a group?
What I really enjoyed seeing is the teams that pulled together of techies from different backgrounds in the tech world. One might be smart at hardware and one's smarter on software, but to combine up as a team that met on that during that week, form these teams and then get into something and get stuck in, it was really cool.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.